Hey, what up, everybody? This is Chris the Crippler Lieben, and you're watching Championship Rounds with Marcel Pierre.
Alright, welcome back to Championship Rounds. The kid here, Marcellus Pieris. Yeah, I said it a little fancy this time. We got a fancy fight, a nice card. So I thought I'd switch it up a little bit. It won't be here to stay. It'll only be here for the introduction of this show. But yes, I'm here to cover the massive UFC 264. Dustin the Diamond Poirier gets in there a third time with the notorious one, Conor McGregor. This is a huge fight and arguably one of the biggest fights of the year. How big of a star is Conor McGregor, you ask? There's no title fight on this whole card. And this is one of the biggest fights of the year. And it'll probably do game busters at pay-per-view. So take that for what it's worth. The man is an absolute star. But before I get started with this card, because I'm going to break down not just the early prelims, the prelims, and the main card. Not all the fights, but the fights I feel good about, or the fights I want to discuss as far as win and loss, picks, DraftKings, FanDuel, whatever you use. Alright? So before I get started again, as always, I'm trying to reach the threshold of 100 subscribers here on YouTube. If you could like, share, subscribe, comment, all of that helps me, and I appreciate it more than you know. One more thing that I want to get to is that if you guys haven't noticed, I usually run a song at the end of when my show closes. Yes, I like to highlight local artists. I like to give them free advertisement, if you will, because they're making music that I enjoy and I can rock with that. So today, when I close out, the homie Mark Ivy has a project that he just released. It's called No Structure, and I'll be previewing a song that I really like called Rage at the end. But enough of that. Let's get to the meat and potatoes, as I like to say. UFC 264, as they say across the pond, or 264 if you're here in the States. Alright? So, again, I'm going to break down a few of the fights on the early prelims, and I'm going to do the entire main card. Alright. Without further ado, I'm just going to get into this, but before I start with the first fight, I just want to let you know that I've been doing pretty damn good lately from a betting perspective. UFC 262, which was headlined by Charles do Bronx Oliveira and Michael Chandler, Iron Mike, if you will. The kid went 7-0. And if you go to UFC 263, which just happened not long ago, the kid went 9-4. So I'm definitely picking these winners. I know I'm going to lose sometimes. That's MMA. I'm not Nostradamus. but I know what I'm talking about. Again, first fight of the early preliminary card that I'm going to get to takes place against Zhalgas Zako Zhumagulov. And he's going in there against the Renegade, Jerome Rivera. All right? I just want to go out and say right now, Zhalgas is a former champion from another organization. He came into the UFC. He made his debut. It was a closely contested fight, but a fight I felt like he should have won based on performance. However, the judges on hand thought otherwise. He got screwed in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. Because when anybody looks at this record and they look at what he's done, they'll see that the man is on a 2-fight losing streak in the UFC. So they'll say, oh, well, he beat guys outside of the UFC. He can't seem to get a win in the UFC. I'll get to that. He should already have one, though. All right? I mean, his losses come by close, razor-thin, decisions. However, he has been TKO'd one time, but that was in 2015, 6 years ago. All right, let's get to his opponent, the Renegade. All right, also on a losing streak. Zhalgas on a 2-fight losing streak. The Renegade is on a 3-fight losing streak. So neither one of these guys can get it together and get their first win in MMA's largest promotion, the Ultimate Fighting Championship. What else about Jerome? All of his losses have been by KO. They're knocking his ass out left and right. So let me correct myself. 2 have been by KO. But still, they're putting him to bed. All right, so take that into account. This is Jerome's first flyweight bout since 2017. Yeah, he's been moonlighting at featherweight and bantamweight. Yes, he did go 6-0 at flyweight, but spoiler alert, those were all regional victories. Nobody noteworthy. Hell, nobody even has a Wikipedia page that he beat. So, who do I have in this fight? Zhalgas or Jerome? I'm going with Zako. He's going to get it done. He's already won championships in other promotions. He's got the championship medal. He is a superior grappler. Yes, he's 5'4". Yes, Jerome is coming in 5'10". He's getting taken down and taken out. Maybe not taken out, but the decision is going to go to Zhalgas Zako Zhumagulov. All right, moving on. Next fight here. Next fight, you got the Dagestanian. I don't know if that's what they call each other, and I don't mean any disrespect by it, but that's what I'm going to call the Wolverine, Omari Akhmedov, who hails from Dagestan, the same region that the Eagle, Khabib Nurmagomedov, hails from. All right, a lot of killers are flooding out of Russia, out of different regions, all right, and flooding mixed martial arts and doing pretty damn well. I mean, there's Khabib, there's Peter Yan. Hell, in Bellator, you got Amislav, who just freaking won the belt against Douglas Lima. So, I'm not going to catalog all those because we're here to pick these fights. So, again, Omari Akhmedov, 6 foot, 33 years of age. He's coming in 21-5. He's 4-1 in his last 5 fights. He has a draw after moving up to middleweight because he did have some fights elsewhere. He is doing pretty well at middleweight, but he has a lot of decisions. He's decisioning a lot of guys, but he's lucky and fortunate enough to end on the winning side of that. The man does hold a draw with Marvin Vettori. Who's Marvin Vettori? Oh, he just fought Izzy for the belt. And holds, I think, a split decision loss over Izzy. So, that's a notable draw, if you will, because he didn't win. But, it happened. Mari's last fight, he got Tom Breeze out of there by submission. You guys might not know Tom Breeze. He's a good fighter. But is he a top-tier fighter? No. Is he a top-tier fighter when it comes to a guy like me who doesn't train MMA or any aspect of it any longer? Yeah. But as far as his peers go, he's not top-tier. And hell, a couple of losses, and he'll be on the outside looking in. So, not really a great win for Omari Akhmedov, but a needed win because he was coming off of a unanimous decision loss to the All-American, Chris Weidman, who's walking around now. Good news. Good news. All right, let's get to his opponent because I spent a lot on Amari. His opponent is Brad Tavares. Brad Tavares has been in the UFC since 2010. And to stick around for 11 years in the sport's biggest promotion, you got to win fights. And he's done that. He's won fights, 11 of them. Fun fact about Brad Tavares, nobody that he's ever beat in the UFC is still in the UFC. He doesn't hold a win over any active UFC fighter. They're either in PFL, Bellator, or they don't even fight anymore. They hung them up. They're retired. So what does this mean? I don't know, but it's a fact. Brad Tavares lost, if you want to do MMA math, Brad Tavares lost a TKO to Tim Boesch. Amari Akhmedov won via unanimous decision against Tim Boesch. The fights were 5 years apart. I doubt either one of them fought the same guy. What am I getting at here? Who wins? Amari Akhmedov or Brad Tavares? Brad Tavares is the better striker here. Amari Akhmedov, he's got decent striking, but he's the better grappler here. And Tavares has been taken down. Tavares has accepted the position, conceded the fight. And that's why I'm going with the man from Dagestan. Yes, Amari Akhmedov is my pick here. And that's all the time I'm going to spend on this fight. Moving on. Moving on to women's MMA. Man, yes, I'm talking about this fight reluctantly, but I'm talking about it, all right? You got Jennifer Maia. And I say reluctantly because this is a women's flyweight division. That division sucks, but I'll get to that. So you got Jennifer Maia, 32 years of age, 5'4", out of Brazil. She just fought Valentina for the belt. She went all 5 rounds, so that's something positive to take away from it. She didn't get took out like a lot of the fighters that Valentina fights. But yeah, the division is trash, in my opinion. And that's why they keep pulling these much smaller women, former champions, from strawweight to fight Valentina, who is a much bigger woman. Valentina wouldn't even be champion if they didn't create 125 pounds, which is full of women that are not good fighters. They're not. And I'm going to go further with that when I talk about the opponent here. But yes, Jennifer Maia is fighting Jessica Evil Eye. Jessica Eye sucks. What fighter do you know that can fight in the UFC and have a record of 5-8? 5 wins, one of which is very controversial, a split decision against Caitlin Chukagian. Not going to go there. But 5 wins, 8 defeats. No. Nobody's going to stick around for that. You're going to get let go. They just let go of Tyron Woodley, former champion. But they're keeping Jessica Eye around because that division is trash. Okay? Nobody in that division stands a prayer to beat Valentina Shevchenko. And that's why they keep pulling these small-ass women from strawweight. She's already lost to Amanda twice. The first ever champion in strawweight. I forget her first name, but I think her last name was Montano. She didn't want to fight Valentina, so they stripped her. Take that for what it's worth. Who do I got here? Obviously Jennifer Maia. Just fought for the belt. She's younger. Jennifer Maia, people say Maia, and then they immediately connect to Damian Maia. Well, Jennifer Maia is not a jiu-jitsu player like Damian Maia. And I don't think there's they're not, no relation, okay? Getting fired up here. Jennifer Maia is a former undefeated pro boxer. I'm going with Jennifer Maia, and that's my pick. Jessica Eye, if you keep your job after losing yet again, something's wrong, man. Something's wrong. Dana, you were right. You said originally that you were standoffish on women ever being in the UFC. What was your reason? There's not enough good women. And for a large in part, all of the women's divisions are top heavy. And when I say 125, the only position in that weight class that holds any weight is the championship spot. Because everybody else in the division is not a championship competitor. Again, that's the last fight on the early prelims. I'm moving on to the preliminary card. Second here. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I should have turned on. All right. We're back. Boy's starting to sweat here. All right. So we're moving on to the preliminary card. And so we're moving on to the preliminary card. The first fight I'm going to touch on deals with a guy named Dricus Stillknox Duplessis. He's 27 years old, 6'1", out of South Africa, 15-2 overall on a 3-fight win streak. His opponent is none other than the problem, Trevin Giles, the Texan, 6 foot, 28 years old, 14-2 overall, also on a 3-fight win streak. This is an interesting matchup. Either one of these competitors could push through and get the victory. Either one could. Trevin Giles is sneaky good on the ground with submissions. He's very good with his hands on the feet. Very dangerous. And his opponent, Duplessis, former EFC and KSW welterweight and middleweight champion, champ in South Africa. 2 different promotions. Only loss at middleweight came in 2014. Gareth McClellan, who used to fight in the UFC a long time ago. But he's got 11 wins at middleweight. This fight is taking place at middleweight. Who do I got? Trevin Giles got submitted by Zach Cummings and Gerald Meerschaert. Gerald Meerschaert got destroyed by, I can't even remember his name. The guy with the cleft lip like Joaquin Phoenix. I forget his name right now. I'm not going to spend time on that because I'm not talking about him. But he's got very questionable takedown defense. In his last fight, he kind of gassed out. Guy took him down. But he ended up pushing through and winning the fight. Decision. But again, heavy hands, great boxing. But who do I got here, man? The 27-year-old or the 20-year-old Texan? I just feel like the Texan just doesn't have the tools that the South African is going to bring into this fight. Even though I like Trevin Giles, he is a problem. The fact that you got submitted twice in short order by Cummings and Meerschaert against a guy who could do the exact same to you if he chooses to, if he works for it. I'm going with Duplessis, and I'm going with him convincingly, all right? I feel like he controls this fight. He'll probably come in knowing that Trevin is the most dangerous on his feet, and he'll probably remove him from his feet. But yes, that's my pick, Duplessis. So, moving on to the next fight that I'm going to cover in the preliminary card. Yes, the Wizard is back. It's been a while. It's been 2 years. I'm talking about Ryan Hall. He's getting in there against a guy named Ilya El Matador Poirier. Oh my goodness. Now, Ryan Hall lost his MMA debut. He's rattled off 8 wins since then. Undefeated in the UFC. Ultimate Fighter 22 champion. He did all that. Disgusting leg lock specialist. Excellent on the ground. Jiu-jitsu player. Okay? Striking's coming up. Coming up. Still not top tier, but coming up. Alright? His opponent. The young, hungry, undefeated Poirier. Yeah, he's got jiu-jitsu too. Black belt. And what else? The man is a problem on the feet as well. He can knock you out. He can take your neck, your arm, your leg, anything. He can do that. He's the younger guy. He's coming in 24 while the Wizard Ryan Hall is 36. Ryan Hall fights averagely once a year because of injury, because it's hard for him to find opponents. Nobody wants to get knee barred or fucking heel hooked, because that, if you get your leg destroyed, it could destroy your career. Nobody wants to get in there with that. BJ Penn fought him. BJ Penn got knee barred. Or was it a heel hook? It was one of them. Got beat. I know we're talking about way past prime BJ still. Ryan Hall did lose on the Ultimate Fighter to the guy I thought should have won, Saul Rogers. Saul Rogers actually won a decision over Ryan Hall, but it was a 2-round fight because you know those were exhibitions on the Ultimate Fighter. But yeah, Saul Rogers should have went to the finale, but he had passport issues where he had to leave the country. Neither here nor there. Ryan Hall ended up winning it, and fair play to him. But who do I have in this fight? Not wasting time, I got El Matador. The young, hungry lion comes in here and gets it done against a guy that just flat out doesn't fight very often. Alright? Mark that down. Moving on. Next fight, we got the hybrid. No, I'm not talking about Brendan Schaub. I'm talking about Nico Price. Nico Price. Very, very unorthodox. Wild striker. He's a dog. A dog. Like Forrest Griffin used to say, you put him in there with anybody. He's just a dog. He's gonna make it a fight. This is that kind of fighter. And he's going in there against an even more unorthodox fighter. Michel Demolitor Pejeta? Yes, the man wastes all type of movement and energy, jumping off the cage, doing wild flips, rolls that aren't even nowhere near to touching his opponent. Maybe it keeps him guessing. Hell, he did that in his UFC debut, gassed, and lost the decision. He's since dialed it back. Because in his next fight, he hit Diego Sanchez, which is his only win in the longest time, with an illegal strike, and Diego, took the injury and couldn't continue, won the fight. But he was getting his ass beat. Make no mistake about it. But yeah, he's rounding it about. Pejeta is a worker. He's going to outwork you. and that's why I feel I'm real big on him in this fight. As far as Nico Price goes, much respect to the 31-year-old Nico Price. Michel Pejeta coming in at 27. But the man has been sparked unconscious 3 times in the UFC. So he's got a kill or be killed mentality. He's either going to take you out or he's going to get taken out. Trying, And one other thing about Nico, the man is a smoker. He is a gas toker. Yes, the man has been reprimanded twice for testing positive for wacky tobacco. In his last fight, I believe. Should have been a draw with Donald Cowboy Cerrone. Overturned to a no contest after the drug test came in. But who do I have? Again, I got Michel Pejeta to get it done. And if he doesn't get him out of there, I feel like he cruises to a unanimous decision. Moving on to the next fight. You have the former UFC interim welterweight champion, the natural born killer. That's Carlos Conde. He hails out of New Mexico. The man is 37 years of age. He's on a 2-fight winning streak. Yes, he beat Court McGee. Yes, he beat the immortal Matt Brown, who just had a disgusting knockout in last fight night. But yeah, he beat those two. But beforehand, the man was on a 5-fight losing streak. He couldn't get it together to save his life. So he fights 2 older fighters who are pretty much in the same position of their careers that he's in, and he pushes on and wins it. I expect that. The man's a former interim champion. Matt Brown had a nice win streak at one time, but he never got a title shot. And Court McGee, much respect to you. I know you struggled with addiction, and you've turned your whole life around. Much respect. But you're not getting a title shot either. So you're going in there now with Payne Griffin, 35 years old. The California's 5'11". He's 17-8 rather. 2-fight winning streak he's on as well. But the difference between his 2-fight winning streak and that of Condit's, he's knocked both of his opponents out. Knocked him out. And one thing about Max Griffin that is to note, the man has only been finished once in his career. All of his losses have been by decision, a lot of them split decision. But he did get finished one time. And it was back in 2016 to Chaos. Colby Covington. So he's a top-tier fighter. That's the only man that's been able to take Max Griffin out. Who do I got here? Everybody's like, well, Condit's a great striker. He's a great jiu-jitsu player. Max Griffin's the better wrestler. Max Griffin's fresher, with the heavier hands now at this stage in their careers. I don't feel like Conde has the heavy hands or the chin to back it up any longer. I don't think he's the natural born killer anymore. I think he's a shell of himself. And that's why I'm going with Payne Griffin to get it done and probably get his ass out of there. The man is 37 years of age. Don't be surprised if he's pushing up daisies at the end of this one. Moving on. moving right along to the main card. Yeah, it's time, as Bruce Buffer elegantly puts every night. 1 second. It's time. All right. I have to wipe the sweat off my brow. I get fired up about these. And I turn off my AC, my fans, everything, because I'd rather just soldier on and sweat instead of having a loud ass fan in my audio. All right, so I need to get a new house that has central air. You know what I mean? That would be great. But again, we're moving on to the main event. You got opening up the main card, not the main event, the main card. Opening up, you got Sugar Sean O'Malley, who was originally slated to face the Hawaiian Louis Smolka, but Smolka got staph infection. Something they said Conor had because he took a picture flexing on a bike and he had a mark on his elbow. You know what I mean? Not going to take time on that. But yeah, Sugar's coming in 13-1. His lone loss to Marlon Chito Vera, where he got ate up with the calf kick and finished with punches and elbows. You know, fun fact about O'Malley is that he also had another fight where he had ankle issues. But he wasn't going in there with a smarter fighter. He couldn't even stand. The fight would have been stopped. But his opponent decided to go to the ground with him. And lost the decision. What? That is just not smart. That's not big MMA IQ in cage. All right? I know his coach was probably berating him after that. But let's go ahead. Who's he fighting since he's not fighting Smolka? In comes Chris Montino. All right? 28 years old. 5'7" out of Massachusetts. O'Malley out of Montana. He's 9-4. He's on a 2-fight win streak. This is his UFC debut. He's on a 2-fight winning streak, but he's 2-2 in his last 4. And in 2019, he was sparked unconscious 2 times. He's going against O'Malley. He's 5'7". O'Malley's 5'11". Way more reach, range. I think he gets put to bed here. I think he's taking this opportunity to enter the UFC, but it won't be a victorious win. And I'm not going to take much time on this fight because I feel like it's pretty cut and dry. This is damn near a lock for me. Sugar Sean O'Malley gets it done. Welcome back to the motherfucking Sugar Show. I fucked that up. Oh well. Sugar Show gets it done. Moving on, we're going to go to back to women's MMA. You got Irina Aldana versus Yana Kunitskaya. Kunitskaya is a significant other of Pejeta, Thiago Santos. Competes in light heavyweight, former middleweight combatant. So whether or not Kunitskaya gets the win or the loss, she's going to get the hammer when she gets home. But let's get to the fight. Aldana, 33 years of age, 5'9", out of Mexico, 12-5 overall, 2-1 in her last 3. Her last fight, she lost the fight to Holly Holm, former champion. While Kunitskaya, 31 years of age, 5'8", from Russia, she's 14-5 on a 2-fight winning streak. All right? So, fun fact about Kunitskaya, former bantamweight champion in Invicta, which is the largest women's MMA promotion that just has women's fights, all right? She beat Tanya Evinger one time, right? But with an armbar. But the referee said that Evinger couldn't use her foot to push Kunitskaya's face away to get out of the armbar, and she ended up having to lay there and take the armbar and lost. Well, that's not how the rules go. Yes, you can't knee and you can't kick a downed opponent in the head, but you can use their face or whatever part of their body to plant and push off to get yourself out of danger. So yeah, they redid the fight. It was a no contest, and Evinger went in there and sparked her ass, got her out of there, So that's something to take into account. Also, the only reason why Kunitskaya even became champion legitimately is because the UFC was poaching talent from Invicta, as they have many, many times before. Almost a lot of their women came from Invicta, okay? They're poaching, so when they take a champion out, like a Tanya Evinger, somebody else fights for the belt. Well, Kunitskaya won the belt. Then she came over to the UFC. Got sparked by Cyborg. It is what it is. She's on a 2-fight winning streak. I thought Irina Aldana had shoddy takedown defense because I've seen her in there with girls that are good enough to take her down. she's not fought a lot of girls that are good enough to take her down, and that's why she has the second best takedown defense in UFC history, 93.5%. Do I think Kunitskaya is good enough to get her down? No. She's a taekwondo player, a Muay Thai player. She's not a grappler, jiu-jitsu, whatever. I know I just said she caught Evander in an armbar. Not really. Not really. Evander took her down. Okay? So, Aldana, great boxing, heavy hands, definitely for women's MMA. I got her winning a unanimous decision. Hold on a second. Fuck. Why is there... Okay. Got her winning a unanimous decision. Alright? So, moving on from that fight, Irene Aldana gets it done. We just got 3 more fights here. Alright? 3 more fights. This is the premier heavyweight matchup of the pay-per-view. You got Tai Bam Bam Tuivasa, the king of the damn shoey. Yeah, he gets out of the cage. Some stranger hocks a loogie in another stranger's foot that they've been wearing all night watching the fights, and then they pour a beer in there, and this guy chugs it. It's called the shoey. It's real. He does it. Disgusting. Disgusting. But you got him versus the Prince of War, Greg Hardy.
I know you've said you've eyed a career in boxing after this. Lately, we've seen these massive paydays, even for bare knuckle boxing. We've seen all these celebrity crossovers into the boxing world. Are you seeing that payday, and are you still looking for that after your MMA career?
We don't care about the payday, brother. We here. I'm getting paid. Trust me. I don't show up unless I'm getting paid. But first of all, we're not eyeing anything. We're going to boxing. Hopefully, the big man is going to help me do it, and maybe I get to knock out a Sean Merriman or Ocho Cinco, one of those fake heavyweights that don't really want to play this game with me. But it's very serious. I'm coming for Deontay. Just like in this league, man, I'm coming for Deontay Wilder. I'm coming. Did you see that video of him lifting weights?
Yes.
Oh, my God. That guy can beat me, and he can't take me down? Okay. I'm coming for all of them, bro. This league, that league, and I don't want to choose. If I could fight Volkov and then go fight the Bronze Bomber and then come back and fight Cyril and then come back and fight Fat Lewis, I'd do it. I am going to do it. I can't support Fat. I can't do it. He's gelatinous. He's lazy. I can't root for him. He's a great fighter, but I refuse to do it. Plus, he talks too much trash about me.
For what it's worth, I think he's trying to lose weight. What is the
Popeye's helping him do that?
What's the issue between you and Derek?
He ran his mouth.
So is that a fight you're just destined to have one day?
Say my name, and I'm gonna come for you. The boss is gonna send me, and that's a guy that wasn't mentioned, but decided to grace his fat Popeye's greasy chicken lips with my name. When I was a peasant, when I was a young child, what grown man, what would it look like for me to go attack somebody that just came off the Contender Series right now? You'd be like, he's childish. But you guys let that man gyrate, belittle me? Nah, he needs to be handled. He's an ex-con that doesn't know when to shut up. I'm going to put him down when I need to. And of course, timing's everything. I'm still not there yet. And I'm willing to admit that he is a better man right now. But he's still a fatty.
Taito Vasa was out here earlier and he described himself as fat as well, but would you say Derek's in worse shape?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
He's out there videotaping guys robbing his minivan. Well, what is he? He's not even at work. What's he doing? Come on, man. That guy, he's the kind of guy that waits till the 3rd round, plays possum, and then throws a bunch of haymakers, bro. That's MMA.
All right, Greg Hardy's last fight, he was outlasted by Marcin Tybura and finished by Marcin Tybura. If that fight would have went to a decision, it would have been close. All right? So he was in the fight, but Tybura is tough. Cardio. And that won the fight. Greg actually looked really good on the feet, but when he got taken down, oh my goodness. It all came crumbling down, tumbling down, whatever. So he's in there with Tai Tuivasa. Every single one of this man's wins, KO, except one, the Pitbull. Andrei Arlovsky, at an old age, was able to go the distance, even though it was in a losing effort. All right, but One thing about Tai Tuivasa is he has been taken down and finished on the ground by where's it at? I believe JDS. Let me see. I'll make sure because I like to be accurate here. Yeah, JDS, Blagoy Ivanov, and Sergey Spivak finished Tuivasa on the ground. Tuivasa is not somebody that's trying to take you down. So I feel like this is going to be a bang fest. No, not a porno. A fight. Fisticuffs. So who do I have winning this? Well, a lot of the experts are picking Tai Tuivasa because he's the more noteworthy striker. And every time Greg Hardy gets in there with somebody that has a somewhat of a name, a Volkov, a Tybura, he loses. But I feel like both of them have heavy hands and great chins. Both of them. This is a tough one to pick, and I might not even include this one on my card. Man, another thing before I make my pick here, a lot of people were saying, like, if Greg Hardy loses here, that'll make him 4-4 in the UFC. Will the UFC wash their hands with him? Will the Greg Hardy project be over? These guys brought in CM Punk. No athletic history. Got beat by Mickey Gall, who was 1-0. Then he got beat by a reporter who was just playing with him. There was talk about them bringing him back. They brought in James Toney. Championship boxer. Put him in there with Couture. He didn't even throw a punch. Okay? Didn't even know how to tap out. But he lost, of course. My point is that the UFC has done projects like this before. Okay? Ultimate Fighter 10. Kimbo Slice season. You know how many former NFL players were on that show? Did any of them win? No. None of them. I think Roy Nelson won, I believe. Fat man. With heavy hands. Neither here nor there. But there was a Kimbo Slice project. Yeah. They put him in there on the Ultimate Fighter. He didn't win. So afterwards, they put him in there with Houston Alexander. He won that fight. And then they put him in there with the meathead, Matt Mitrione. Matt Mitrione won the fight because Kimbo was gassed. And then they washed their hands of Kimbo. So that was pretty damn short. A short span. All right? Man. If Greg Hardy loses this fight, he's 7-3 overall. He started his career professionally in Dana White's Contender Series. He's knocked out a lot of guys. If he loses this fight, I don't see him getting rid of him. I feel like they're still going to give him fights because they are entertaining. And like I said, he's obviously making improvements. You know what I mean? Fight to fight. Got a good team down there with Dean Thomas and American Top Team. But who do I got here winning this fight? Tai Bam Bam Tuivasa or the Prince of War Greg Hardy? Man. Greg Hardy hasn't been... I know everybody wants to see Greg Hardy get knocked out because of his domestic violence past, even though charges were never, he was never convicted, should I say. But, man, I just don't know, man. The man he's a bigger man. He's got heavy hands, too, a chin on him. Way more athletic than that of Tuivasa, but Tuivasa's been doing this longer. Does that matter? If you got it, right? Man, I'm just going to... Listen, I'm pulling for Hardy in this fight. I like Tai Tuivasa. I'm pulling for Greg Hardy. I'm not picking Greg Hardy, but I ain't picking Tuivasa either. Even though that's probably the smart pick. Tuivasa is probably the smart pick. I'm not making a pick. I'm just pulling for Greg Hardy. Get it done, Greg. Get the dub, all right? Because you looked good in your last fight before you gassed, and I really hope you got your cardio issues in order. Moving on. Co-main event. You got two competitors that have fought for the welterweight championship of the world. One against Usman and one twice against Woodley. I'm talking about Gilbert Dorino Burns versus Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, all right?
I don't know if you saw or heard, but Colby Covington did an interview, said that you don't deserve anything. He was confused why you still called yourself Wonderboy, because he said you're a 40-year-old man who used to retire and this and that. So what are is your response to that?
Man, it's a nickname. Come on, bro. I've had this thing since I was 15, and calling myself Wonder Man is just weird. I don't know. Wonder Man just doesn't fit right. But, yeah, he said, I identify myself as a boy, man. None of that. I just put a smile on my face. I actually laughed about it. I was like, you got something there. But it doesn't bother me one bit, man. He can say all the trash talking he wants. I'm going to eat him up with niceness. That's what I'm going to do. Just smile at him. And you know what makes him mad? You know what makes him mad?
And then speaking about this fight specifically, Gilbert Burns' own words when he lost to Kamaru Usman, when he clipped him, or Gilbert clipped Kamaru, and he said he went Cody Garbrandt crazy and just kind of blew up, doesn't even really remember it. From your past fights, your opponents get obviously visibly frustrated when they can't catch with you. So when you hear Gilbert Burns say something like that, like he just saw red and went after it, are you thinking in the back of your mind like, oh, this is something I can take advantage of?
It does, man. It really does, and that's my whole game plan, right? With my opponents is to try and pull them out of their comfort zone, make them frustrated, and then capitalize on that. But for me and my mindset going into this fight, I feel like Gilbert Burns has learned from his last mistakes, and I feel like I'm going to get the best mindset, the best Burns come this Saturday. I know he wants that win back with Kamaru Usman. It was devastating. I've been there, so. For me, I feel like I'm going to get the best Gilbert Burns, man, and that I wouldn't want anything else but that.
I'm just going to go ahead and throw it out there. Elephant in the room here. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is 38 years of age, all right? The man is long in the tooth. But you don't just beat Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, even though he was dispatched by Anthony Pettis. But Anthony Pettis was getting pieced up. But he got dispatched by Anthony Pettis. It was a cold demonstration. But nobody else has KO'd Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, and the man has never, ever in life been submitted professionally. Gilbert Dorino Burns, a jiu-jitsu world champion several times over out of Brazil. You know, he's 4-1 since moving up to welterweight because, yes, he spent the lion's share of his career at 155 pounds. And, his last fight, he lost to, the champion, Kamaru Usman. But yeah, who do I got here? You know, Gilbert is a great fighter. He's got heavy hands, too. Amazing jiu-jitsu, obviously. But as far as his takedowns go, he's not some wrestling aficionado. He's not. And Stephen Wonderboy Thompson has great takedown defense. Yes, Tyron Woodley was able to get him down. Gilbert ain't Tyron Woodley. Yeah, Gilbert took Tyron down a little. I think he did, you know. But, yeah. Wonderboy is light on his feet. He's going to be bouncing around the cage, getting, all around it. Like, let's not forget that Wonderboy might be 38 years of age, but he just beat Jeff Neal, knockout artist. He just beat Vicente Luque, knockout artist. And he did it convincingly. I'm going with Wonderboy Thompson. Yes, he turns the clock back even more and gets the dub. And I think it'll be by unanimous decision. I do. So, count on Wonderboy. Keeping his spot. Hell, moving up spots. Beating the number 2 guy. Why he's still number 2? I don't know. That's the ranking system. Beats the number 2 guy, and he's right there, once again, in UFC welterweight title contention. Wonderboy Thompson, mark it down, because I think this might be his last run. His age withstanding. Here we go. Main event. Main event of the night will be the trilogy, the culmination, the conclusion. Dustin the Diamond Poirier, who won the last fight they had via KO in round 2 against the notorious Conor McGregor, who won the first fight, first round KO.
Question for Conor, right here. You walked out, you posed for the crowd, it seems like you pulled some of Dustin's hot sauce out and poured it and threw it at him. Why did you feel the need to pour out his hot sauce?
It's garbage. Don't have that garbage up on my bleeding stage. Where's the proper 12? The real sauce. The real Irish hot sauce.
Dustin, it seems like you want to have something to say.
I got a nice bottle of Redbreast 21 sitting at the house after I whipped that ass. Good one.
Another one for Conor. This is really the first time you've been in the same room with Dustin since Fight Island. Has seeing him in person now, after all the back and forth on social media?
I think he looks rough, to be honest. I look like the weight cut is getting to him. And, you know, I can see it in his eyes. There's stress in his eyes, a lack of sleep. You can see it. It's coming for him on Saturday night, and he knows it, and I know, and I'm going to love doing it.
Dustin, same question. Is finally seeing Conor in person after all the back and forth on social media, has it elicited any more emotions, or is it still just business as usual?
No, it's just business. I see a man here.
I see a corpse.
Get crazy.
I see a dead body.
Thank you.
This question for Conor. It's Ocho Cinco with BR Betting. A quick question. Myself and the entire BR Betting family, we rocking with you Saturday night, and I want to hear from your mouth. Are you a lock?
I'm a lock, a cert. I'm gonna kill this man.
Conor, when people think about you, they think about the guy who apologized to absolutely nobody. Is that guy here today, and will he be here on Saturday?
An evolution of that guy. I'm better than that man, you know what I mean? I'm at to evolve, and I feel I'm at to come on full circle, and I look forward to showing it on Saturday night.
Dustin.
That night was the single greatest performance in UFC history, widely regarded. The night I won the second world title in Madison Square Garden. This performance on Saturday night, I'm gonna top it.
Dustin, you're not just a contender anymore, you're a big deal in the entire UFC. How do you make sure you don't fall into the trap of falling into the hype?
Because I've never really had that hype push. I know who I am. I'm the same guy. It's easy to be me, man.
Question for the notorious Conor McGregor. You're already a Hall of Famer. Your legacy's already cemented. Winning against Dustin Poirier, winning this trilogy fight, where does it stack up against all the accomplishments? Beating Aldo, getting the champ status against Eddie Alvarez, where would this rank?
My mindset, I'm back on the building sites now. I've a hard hat, a high vis, and two hammers in me hands. That's my mindset. I'm not relishing in all me past accomplishments, all the money I've got in me bank, all the Forbes accomplishments, all that. That's all in. I don't care about that. I'm back on the sites in a high vis with two hammers on me fucking hands.
Out of curiosity, did you finish the bottle of hot sauce that Dustin gifted you on Fight Island?
Didn't touch it.
And Dustin, question for you. Winning this trilogy, would it be more meaningful than winning the interim lightweight strap at UFC 236 against Max Holloway?
It'll be, I think, bigger for the hype.
Don't contradict yourself, Dustin, because the last time we were up here, you were giving it all the large ones, saying, oh, the title means everything. Yeah, here you are up for the bread and the butter, you little fake cunt.
And then this is the last questions for both of you. You get your hand raised Saturday evening. How quickly would you like to return? Would you like to fight for this strap before the end of 2021 against Oliveira?
Yes, we're going to fill out the Allegiant Stadium, the Death Star.
Yeah.
For you, Dustin?
Yeah, of course. That's the next move. End of the year.
First question for Conor. Conor, they say that game recognizes game. When you look at Dustin, does he feel like he's on your level? Do you recognize him as a champ?
He's not in the same stratosphere as me. The man looks disgraceful up here. He looks frail. He looks frail at this weight now. I'm telling you, his head, his body, his frame, his eyes, that weight cut is getting to him. I'm on weight, ready to go. There'll be no 155. There'll be nothing free given here. Everything's getting took here.
Second question for Dustin. You entered the UFC as a young fighter. Now you're a wise businessman. What's that journey been like for you to be entering the fight game, but now in the business game?
It's been a lot of growth, you know, learning from losses in life and from in fighting. So just getting better.
My wife is your husband.
This question's for Conor. Conor, in the build-up to the last fight, you were unusually kind to Dustin. Now on fight week, it's the exact opposite. So when did that switch happen?
Because he got knocked the fuck out. Not McGregor fast, McGregor sleep.
Conor said this week that you fought him scared in the last fight. I just want to get your reaction to that.
I have a healthy fear going into every fight. I know the dangers. I know I'm a human being, and if I make a mistake, it could be the last mistake in that fight, and I can wake up asking what happened. So I bring that into every fight.
Conor, win or lose, do you respect Dustin Poirier no matter what happens on Saturday night?
I don't give a fuck about him, to be honest. I don't give a rat's ass about him. He's Buster Douglas. He's Buster Douglas is what he is. And that's the way he's going to go down. He's going to be known for that. It was a fluke win, and I'm going to correct it on Saturday night.
Dustin, the same question for you. Because do you respect him as a fighter despite all the antics?
I do. You know, I don't hate anybody up here. I'm at a different place mentally, man. Respect to him and everything he's done.
Question for Dana. Is this a return to form? Does this Conor look very familiar to you versus the one that you saw in Abu Dhabi?
That's me. What's the question?
Does this Conor McGregor look
I'm so fucking freaked out that these two are going to move either way. I can't even.
He's not going to do
I can't even
nothing.
pay attention to this fucking.
Just keep sketching on me, because that little fool will do nothing.
I'm going to slap you up if you come near me.
What did you say, sir?
Does this look more familiar to you than what you saw in Abu Dhabi with Conor?
Yeah. Listen, you know, I think that every version of Conor that's shown up over the last several years is always a different version. You know, he does what he's got to do.
Conor, right here. Conor, right down here. Conor, question for you. You have won exactly one fight since Barack Obama was president.
Shut your mouth, I'll go down and smash your nose.
Conor, over a fighter
smash
who
your
has
nose.
0
You
wins
rat. You
over the
little
last
rat.
6 fights.
You little rabbit thing. Someone
This
smack
man
him.
sent
Smack
you
him.
to a place where time doesn't exist 6 months ago. We want to know, why should anyone expect anything different on Saturday?
It's one more fight I won than your little sissy ass, you little fanny pad.
Why should we expect anything different on Saturday?
Yeah, fuck the whole roster. Fuck the entire roster. You know, I see the way it is. You try and be nice to them. You try and help them out of pity. But fuck them all now. It is what it is, and that's it. I'm coming for all of them.
And Dustin, do you think it's important to have a strong rival as well?
Do what?
Is it important to have a strong rival, do you think?
All these guys are rivals. You know, we're competing to be the #1 fighter. Why are you guys reaching out to people in the boxing world that I know, trying to bring in boxing expertise?
Shut your mouth.
Why are you guys reaching out to my friends to bring into camp?
What? Why would he shout to no one, you thick? I played and sparred Paulie Malignaggi and sparring in the lead up to Fight Floyd, one of the better boxers on this fucking planet, you stupid tosspot. We never rang anyone to ask anyone for any bleeding info on you, you dope.
And we both did the same to you.
Dustin, Conor tweeted about, you know, first one to take a shot is a weasel. Are you going to stand and bang, or are you going to take a shot?
I'm going to shell and shoot.
Have a good night.
Dustin, Conor in interviews this week said he admits he was looking past you in the second fight, looking more at Manny Pacquiao. Do you look at that as an excuse, and do you feel like you got the best of what was left of him in that fight?
I beat him. I mean, it's a fight. It's up to you to get prepared. I beat him. What's his excuse going to be on Saturday is what I want to know.
Conor, history has shown when you are active, you are sharper. Do you think you'll look back on this 5-year stretch and regret only fighting 3 times in your prime?
I'll regret nothing I've done on this planet. You know, as long as I live. I love my life. I've done some incredible things, and, you know, I've had an incredible career, and long may it continue.
Conor, should we expect you to check calf kicks this fight?
You'll pay to see that.
And finally, Conor, I've watched all your interviews this week. It seems like you've been hesitant to give the official Mystic Mac prediction for this one. Can you go on record right now?
Oh, I said I'm going to take him out in a stretcher. He's going out in a stretcher in this fight.
What round, sir?
You'll pay to see that.
Thank you.
Man, a lot. This fight is what, something like that, 7 years in the making. And both of these two fighters have a way different path back to each other. Dustin Poirier moved up to lightweight, 155 pounds, because their first fight took place at featherweight. That's 145. And he's been 11-2 since then. His 2 losses came to Michael Johnson, TKO'd him, and the Eagle, Khabib Nurmagomedov, strangled him. All right? His wins, though. He's got wins over Jim Miller. I said Jim Miller. Justin Gaethje, Eddie Alvarez, Conor McGregor, like Max Holloway. Like, the man has great wins at 155 pounds. I think 11 of them. All right, and 8 of them are by finish. So he's not just winning these fights, he's getting them boys out of there. All right, so Conor McGregor, on the other hand, the man has only 3 official fights at 155 pounds. Yes, he fought for the title. MSG, Eddie Alvarez, destroyed him because he's a great counter striker. I'll get to that. Destroyed him. But his other 2 fights at 155 pounds, finished in both of them. He got finished by Khabib, like everybody else does. And then who else did he get finished by at 155 pounds? Do you guys know? Do you guys know who else finished Conor McGregor at lightweight? Dustin Poirier, who we're talking about, obviously. So, this will be his 4th ever fight at 155 pounds in the UFC. And people are like, oh, well, he fought Cowboy. He fought Nate Diaz. Yes, I know that these guys are 155 pounders, but he fought him at 170, so I'm not counting him here. All right? Let's see here. Do I have to go on that Conor McGregor is the champ? No, I think everybody knows. All right? I think everybody knows that. But this fight is going to decide and determine whether or not Mr. Champ is still an elite fighter. This is a fork in the road. If you lose and go left, you're probably fighting Nate Diaz. Trilogy fight. Both you guys be coming off a loss. If you win, you can either fight for the title against DuBronx Oliveira, or you can do whatever the hell you want. You know? The ball is still in your court at that point. I know. Conor McGregor was eating at a restaurant. You know, I guess the fans got wind of it. He was leaving and got mobbed. This is Ali shit. Muhammad Ali shit. They love this man. Internationally. Nationally. You know, obviously everybody has haters. Everybody has detractors. But this man is an absolute superstar. And the sport is a better place when he's fighting. So I'll be rooting for him from that perspective. All right. But you know, Poirier can hang his hat on this. When it comes to Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier is the first man to defeat McGregor with strikes. And if he wins this weekend, he'll be the reason why McGregor, for the first time in his career, has lost back-to-back fights. And I think he'll be angling to do that. All right? The first fight, Conor came in heavy on the front leg in a pure boxing stance. Yes, he touched Poirier several times. I believe he landed 26 or 27 of 29 strikes to the head against Poirier. So he was touching him. Poirier gets hit a lot. He's usually in firefights. See the Gaethje fight. See the Alvarez fight. Yeah, he won those fights, but they were firefights. I don't know how it would be if McGregor gets to touching him in a firefight like that. Like, I don't know. I really don't. Because what Poirier did in the first fight, listen, he chopped the tree down with the calf kicks, all right? He depleted Conor's gas tank with the takedown. And then after that, late in round 2, he unloaded a barrage and got his ass out of there flat. Man. This is just a big fight. This is a big fight, not only for Conor and Dustin, but for MMA. All right? Who do I got to close this out? Conor 1-2 in his last 3 fights. Who do I got? His fight with Donald Cowboy Cerrone lasted, 30 seconds? That's not exactly cage time. This is Conor's quickest turnaround since 2016 when he was an active fighter. He's since He's since taken at least a year or even 2 years between fights. Crazy. And we expect him to come back and be the same guy? I think Conor's hungry again. I think his MMA IQ is superior to Dustin Poirier's. And that may not seem that way because he didn't adjust to the leg kicks in their first fight. And I think that's because he was trying to push forward and get Dustin out of there. He already knocked him out before. He's trying to knock him out again. He's trying to force it, not let it come organically. And that was his Achilles heel. I feel like he'll be more methodical, more calculated. And even though in the UFC, all the trilogy fights that have ever taken place, the man that's won the second fight has won the third fight 70% of the time. I don't think history will play a factor here. I think that 30% will rear its ugly head like it's Groundhog's Day. And I think Conor McGregor gets off the schneid, wins the fight. And that's all I got here, guys. That's all I got. UFC 264. Hey, it's been real. The kid, Marcel Pierre. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, comment. That's it. That's all. I'm done. Stay frosty.
Sometimes I wanna rage. Sometimes I wanna rage. I got too much on my plate. I got so much shit to say. I got too much on my mind. Sometimes I just need some time. I wanna rage. You to know shit get ugly, it ain't pretty, it ain't beautiful. You can't push me to the max and tell me to relax. You gotta see me at my worst to get me at my best.